Hello, everybody.
Hey there.
This is the second episode in a sense
Don't
of
call it
what
that.
we are dubbed now A Live, and well,
Yeah.
eh, eh,
Yeah.
we don't know quite if we're well.
We'll tell you. That's what the well is for.
All right. For the intro of this episode, we're gonna do something a little different than what we're gonna do for the rest of them. Towards the ends of the episodes, we're going to kind of ask a bit of like a question, leave it kind of an open answer, and we'd like you to respond to us. So if you want to tell us what you think about what we're going to be talking about at the end, it's a surprise, so you better stay tuned in there. Yeah, we'll give the responses to what you guys thought in the beginning of the next episode, which will be next Sunday at 2, which is now our designated time slot, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's a good time. So aside from that, updates, anything, we updated our nice little bar here.
Yeah, as you can see, it has my correct Twitter name down here.
Yeah, we did get the Twitter name wrong.
Yeah.
Speaking of these things here, we have our hashtag WNJLive, Wade and Justin Live, basically. So tweet us out there, and we have a screen right over here that will show us anything that you tweet. So we will stay up to date with that, and if you tweet us there, then we will try to answer any questions you have as we go along as best we can, and if it fits into our thing.
Yeah, we don't really have a schedule for this. Pretty much, we have like a list of things written down, topics we want to cover, and kind of the order. But as you'll learn later in the episode, I am kind of a jump around person, and Wade's pretty good with jumping around. So if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them as best as possible. And if it's kind of like in the middle of something, we'll finish up our idea, and then we'll jump to your question.
Yep. So with all that said, do we have anything else we'd like to kind of like lay out for this so far?
Not really. I think I'm good.
I think that's pretty much it.
Welcome to Alive and Well.
The official first episode is what we'll call it. This is the official first
This
episode.
is a fish.
This is definitely
Flopping.
a fish flopping around.
Let's go.
What was the name of this episode?
This one is called
Virtually No Focus.
Virtually No Focus.
Which I guess I should have updated the name of the live stream, but it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It's fine.
We'll fix it later.
We'll fix it later. Because we're kind of fix it later kind of dudes. Sounds terrible. All right, so let's jump right into it. We'll do a little bit of a like a news update kind of thing. So first off, things that happened this week. This past week was the vice presidential debate. Wow, that's not a word. The vice presidential debate, and I didn't really watch it, so I don't know quite what happened with that. It was. You know anything about that?
I know nothing.
I heard that Mike Pence did pretty well.
Yeah.
Aside from that, not much.
Pretty much. I try not to follow the politics, especially whenever it's two candidates that are
weird.
Let's use that word.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing with that much. There is, I think today later, I don't know what time, that sounds terrible, but there is an actual presidential debate later.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
Check that out if you're into that or whatever.
That'll be interesting.
It will be. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that as far as that goes.
In other news, Hurricane Matthew has been kind of tearing it up. The southeast of the country.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. It started out as a Category 4 whenever it hit Florida. It didn't, as far as we know, everyone we know down in Florida in the area was safe. I think I don't know personally, obviously, we're from Pennsylvania, so we're a good ways away. But as far as we've heard, everyone's been evacuated properly and everything, so that helped.
That's good. And people died, right?
Yeah, it actually went up the Atlantic coast and got into South Carolina, as you probably heard on the news. It turned into a Category 2, but there was over a foot of rain, and that ended up causing some flash floods, and people did. I think there were about 7 deaths that were documented in that. So
not good.
Yeah. So
not good at all.
So just keep everyone there in your prayers and everything, your thoughts and prayers, if you believe in that stuff. But yeah, so that's what's happening down there.
We'll jump right into the next topic, which is Samsung's exploding everything. This has been interesting. Have you heard anything about this?
I've heard about the Note 7s.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
Galaxy Note 7s were blowing up a lot. I think they fixed it for the most part.
I
I haven't kept up to date with a lot of that. But aside from other things, it wasn't just the Galaxy Note 7. Apparently, some of their washing machines
washing machines.
were blowing up, and
I
well, not blowing up, but they were like shaking apart and pieces flying everywhere.
I think Samsung heard that people wanted others to blow up their phones more often
Oh yeah,
because they didn't have any
they
friends.
didn't have any lives,
And
so
they're like, you know,
blow
we'll
us up, man.
just blow up your phone.
Blow us up, you know? Uh, yeah. Well, they got what they wanted, I guess.
Yeah. And of course we can't leave out the freaking clowns.
Their clowns are everywhere.
They are. They're actually been spotted about a mile away from where we are now. Yeah, they tried to get in someone's car, but yeah.
Luckily, the doors were locked.
Yeah.
From what I heard.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been all over the place. If you haven't heard out about it, you're probably under a rock or just don't listen to the nonsense on social media. But it's actually causing a big ruckus with people just in their daily lives. You know, people are scared to do things, and it's especially hard on the police officers and whatnot because it's hard to know whether it's all a prank or if is anybody as serious. Because
Just a prank, bro.
just social experiment. It's okay. But something I've realized just thinking about it myself, you know, and like whenever you're laying in bed in the middle of the night and you're scared of clowns, like you don't know, like if someone were to walk up to you, I wouldn't know if it was a prank or not, so I would defend myself in that situation. We had even it went so far as to Penn State University. There was a clown spotted around the area. And hundreds of students actually flooded the campus streets and whatnot, and they were just like running in like masses, hunting for the clowns, and it was pretty crazy. It was a riot.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, and the best part of this is that professional clowns are starting to fear for their lives, which I mean that's not good that they have to be afraid to just do what they do for a living, but they actually started a Facebook page called Clown Lives Matter.
That's funny. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so that's the creepy side. I guess it's getting close to Halloween, so
Oh
there's
yeah.
your dose of Halloween.
What are you dressing as anything?
I'm not, but my son is going to be a skeleton because we figured a pumpkin would be cliche.
Can't
But
go wrong with that.
It's going to be adorable.
I was thinking of going as Rick from Rick and Morty, but I don't know. Maybe a cowboy or something more traditional. Maybe I don't know.
There you go. Not a clown, though. That's a bad idea.
No, not a clown.
You'll get shot.
I wouldn't suggest any of you dress as a clown. That's not smart at all.
There are people that are scared, and they might kill you.
They might.
They might.
You never know. Some people go crazy.
Especially if you live in the middle, in central Pennsylvania. They call it Pennsyltucky because it's like Philadelphia on one side, Pittsburgh on the other, and Kentucky in the middle. We're all rednecks, and we own guns and weapons, so don't.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, next thing. Comcast. I heard about this just yesterday, actually, but it sounds like Comcast is trying to put like a terabyte limit on internet usage, meaning so after you use data usage is weird. I've never gotten into it because I've had unlimited data on my phone for forever, so I never really got into how that all works and data limits. I don't understand the concept of it. I think it should be unlimited everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see like if they wanted to like make you pay for how much you use.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily right to say you can only use so much of this.
I mean, and a terabyte's a lot of data. I mean, considering like per month,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, everyone uses the internet a ton. Streaming, like think of it like this: like you're streaming like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. You're streaming this right now if you're watching.
So, if you don't have Wi-Fi, that's a lot of data.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with Comcast. There's talking like through your home internet now. You may have to worry about data overage charges.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think if it fits the bandwidth.
Yeah, because I mean, you think of it like using your cell phone, and you're like, oh, I'm low on data for the month. I better get on the Wi-Fi. Well, now that may no longer be a safe space for some people.
Safe space.
I know, safe space. I know. I'm trying to be careful.
Anyway.
But yes, so that may not be a place to like a thing you could do anymore because you're like, well, now I got to worry about data overage charges for both my cell phone and my house internet. So I thought that was crazy. I signed a petition to fight against it or whatever. I don't know. You can be into that thing or whatever.
The internet's our last. I think it's like the last frontier where we have.
Oh yeah, for
whatever
sure.
we want to do, pretty much is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And big business the man's trying to cut us down.
For
So,
sure.
Yeah, if there's anything you can
The
do to
man.
stop that, go ahead. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. You know what? Tell us how you feel about it in the comments. Tweet us. Do whatever. Yeah. So, um, all right. I guess that's all I have to say about the Comcast thing. It's weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So that's basically our news for the day, and so we're gonna get into our main topics. Wade is more the expert on this next topic than I am. We're talking about virtual reality.
I don't know that I call myself an expert, but I did want to talk about VR and the way things. It's coming up a lot more recently in the news or in just video games or whatever. But I think it's making our way into our lives, and I wanted to bring up the topic of like what you guys would think of like where do you think it's going? Like what do you think it is? Like as far as gaming goes, and I've talked with some of my friends about this. I don't know what you think, but I was talking to one of my friends about, and he said like, and I think we both agree, it was something along the lines of like VR is kind of like it's a cool experience if you're into the experience of gaming and for that kind of thing. But as far as gameplay goes, I don't think, at least in its current form, I don't think it's gonna be a popular like, yeah, let's go play VR 2K18 or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with VR, and just in case you didn't realize, I didn't realize till like halfway through our conversation about what we were talking about. VR is virtual reality.
Yeah,
like I
that's
said,
important.
Yeah, because like I was so confused. I'm like, but then I realized virtual. Yeah, that sounds good. So that's virtual reality. But yeah, I think it has a lot of practical uses,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like right now it's in the early stages. It's kind of like whenever television was first invented, and then like the internet and smartphones and everything. Like if you look back and look at the first versions, everyone looks back and laughs now because they're so ridiculous. And I'm sure like 20 years in the future, people are gonna look at those people playing games with like the bulky headsets on. They're gonna look at them and laugh like, how does that not kill you? But yeah,
I mean, as far as other things go, like I remember, I read about this a long time ago. Nintendo had like an old VR gaming headset from back a long time ago. I think it was called the Virtual Boy, like a play off a Game Boy. That's pretty funny. But it gave people like really bad nausea and headaches and stuff, and it wasn't like that.
Yeah, and I think
good.
I think an immersive experience can be really cool when it comes to video games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it can be really awesome, especially if you get into games where there's a lot of walking and stuff involved.
Oh, especially definitely like with open world stuff as well.
Oh yeah, like I can see arcades definitely getting into it because then like there aren't a lot of arcades around, but
that's true. And also since like not a lot of people can afford virtual reality headsets, because I know like the cheapest ones I think is the Oculus Rift sells for maybe $600.
Yeah, Oculus Rift is still really expensive.
And the HTC Vive, which is becoming the more popular one right now, costs like $800.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I mean, and that's okay. And consider this too, like you have to have a computer that would run those things.
Yeah.
Because I'm building one right now. As if you watch my channel, you probably know that I'm building a pretty cool computer that's going to be pretty powerful. So I mean, like you have to build, and I've spent nearly $1,500 on it so far. And it will be able to do VR, but a lot of people can't afford things like that. I can barely afford things like that. It's hurting me hard, but yeah. But like, and I mean, you have PlayStation VR, which is something that's coming out. I don't know if you've seen anything like that.
I actually haven't heard much about that.
Taco Bell's doing giveaways right now. Like you get their big box, and then they got the code on it, and you text it, and then you're like, "Sorry, bud, you lost today." That's every single day I go in, but but yeah, and for that even you have to have the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is the same price as a regular PS4 was back when they came out. But at the same time.
It's basically
you're gonna have to sell your old one, get a new one, and then buy the VR headset on top of that, unless they have a bundle or something.
Yeah, it's basically getting to the point where it's like you can't just buy one thing to play. Like back in the old days, you'd buy a game and like the game system would have a bunch of games on it. Well, then they changed it to you had to buy the system, and now you have to buy the games. And now it's going to you have to buy the system, you have to buy the games, you have to buy headsets, and you have to buy the goggles and whatnot. It's getting kind of crazy, but. Yeah. I mean, I think there are definitely practical uses, and if it's more on a commercial level, like I said, with arcades and stuff, it can be used in ways that people can go to the arcades. Most people think, oh, I'll go to the arcade just to play games, and that's what, like, unhealthy and unfit people do. But if you have games where like they have the omnidirectional treadmills and stuff, people can get on those and like run around it. It can be more of a virtual experience.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
and I think that's where it's gonna go more. I think video games, it has one application, and I think they will get better over the years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think that for now, I think it's gonna be focused more on almost movies in a sense.
Yeah, actually,
I think it's gonna be more just a general experience, less than gameplay. That's gonna be more.
Yeah, I actually did a decent amount of research on virtual reality and how it's used in practical reasons, not just gaming. And it's been taken advantage of by advertising. Audi, the car company in Germany, they actually have a virtual showroom where you go in the showroom and it'll bring up cars and you can actually customize the different models of the Audis and stuff like that. And I guess that's pretty cool. I mean, I
that's pretty cool. I mean, I'd love to go to see that, and even if it's just VR, nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty practical. People can use that in advertising. And
as far as other things like that, like I don't know if you've ever seen. I have a pair of the Google Cardboard. You stick your cell phone in the Google Cardboard and you just hold it up, and it's VR. It's the poor man's VR in a sense. But it's just a cardboard box with like lenses in it and junk. But those are pretty cool, and they're getting places too. So I mean, like, that's more consumer grade, if you want to call it that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Consumer friendly.
Yeah, and also the medical field is taking big advantage. There are actually medical schools where they have doctors, like soon-to-be doctors, taking like literal virtual tours through the human body, so they can see up close and personal what they're like, and stuff like that. So
yeah, that'll have great use.
Because I find like one of the most mind-boggling things for me, like I said in our intro video last week, I really like science and biology and stuff like that. But one of the hardest things to wrap my head around is just like without diving into an actual living human or like a corpse.
Seems a lot safer.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to understand and comprehend like the small, minute pieces. And if you can take a virtual tour through a human body and see all the different parts of it, I think it would be a lot more educational and a lot easier and a lot less messy.
Oh, for sure.
But also in journalism, I don't know if anybody else has seen like on Facebook. I don't know if I've seen any on Twitter or not, but the 360 videos. I know the NFL's used it a couple times, and other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where you click on the video and you can choose what direction you look in. You move, kind of use your finger to swipe if you're on your phone, and it changes directions. You can I'm pretty sure what it is like it's on a stand. The camera's on a stand, and it can look like it's got a bunch of different cameras looking all around. You can rotate and look any direction you want to see the video, and it's kind of like an in-person, more virtual experience.
Yeah, they had something like that for the Deadpool trailer. They had like ads on Facebook and stuff that were like 360, and yeah, I think you could view them in VR. That's really cool too.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff. On the topic of VR, what always boggled me is like movies and junk that talk about virtual reality. I could never really get into those too much. I don't know if you've seen much.
I don't know, like full VR movies.
Well, like movies that are kind of based around that, you know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think... Oh, I had something I wanted to say, but I can't remember it. There is shoot. Wow, that's terrible. Blank. Forgot what I was going to say right here live. Thank you. What were you talking about?
The movies, like... I know there are a few movies...
Sorry.
It's fine, go for it.
I remembered what I was going to say. I think a lot of the things that are going to be a bit of a problem, like a lot of movies, if it were VR, there's a high possibility chance of like, say you like look away and all the action's over here. True. And you like miss completely what's happening, some important plot of the storyline, because you're like, look at that little bug crawling on the window over there.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, but like he said, there are a lot of stuff you could miss. Maybe if they had like little arrows pointing like, hey, the main scenes
look
are
over there.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if you were like in you watch a movie like 300 or something that, or like in the back.
Oh yeah, like in the middle of everything. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, you know, one movie that's like that's very much about virtual reality and stuff like that is The Matrix.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
yeah. It kind of makes people angry when they hear about this, but I have never seen The Matrix, and I don't plan to anytime soon.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I've seen all 3 movies. I think I bought all 3.
yeah, I mean the premise seems interesting, and I read through like the descriptions and stuff, but I don't have the attention span to follow something like that.
It is 3 movies.
Yeah, but I mean, just like I've heard that they're very confusing. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you miss a second of the Matrix movies, like you will be lost the entire time.
Yeah, kind of. It is. It does kind of get off on a weird path. But yeah, it's hard to. It's kind of hard to focus, especially like you can't just jump around in the movies. So yeah, very true.
Yeah. But yeah. So like, I have ADHD. So especially whenever I sit down and watch a movie like that,
And I have an HD TV.
ha, pretty much the same thing.
Pretty
But-
close.
But
The one feeds into the other. Sorry, I threw you off.
anyway.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I can't sit down and
Oh, yeah.
I can't sit down and watch a movie like that and it jumps all over the place. ADHD is actually our next topic. This is one that kind of hits home for me. Like I said, I have ADHD. So basically, I'm going to give you a lot of facts and information about it. Pretty much all the information I got about ADHD I got from understood.org. It's great for parents with kids with learning disabilities or just problems in school. They cover anything from ADHD and stuff like that to like dyslexia and stuff like that. So if you're a parent or know someone with one of those issues, that's a great place to look to understand it better. But yeah, ADHD, it's one of those. This also includes ADD. They're very very alike. The only thing that's different is the hyperness. Jumping around. I'm sure if you've noticed, it might have annoyed some of you. Like I jumble my legs around and move my arms a lot, just because
I probably do that a little too.
Yeah.
Just a little. I probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have ADHD.
Yeah. So anybody that doesn't really know too much about it, because it's not one of the things that are talked about a lot. It's joked about. Some people have it. Old people are like, "Oh, it's just an excuse for them to be lazy," which I heard all my life. But basically, ADHD affects one's ability to get organized, to start things. Procrastination is a big issue whenever you have ADHD. And you can only really do one thing at a time. It's very difficult to multitask and to change topics and conversations. Like if you're very focused on one conversation and like that's not a very often occurrence for people with ADHD. If you're talking about something you're very interested in, that it's hard whenever you switch to like
Something else.
Yeah, because it's like the flick of a switch and you have to change direction, and it's hard to do that voluntarily because that's normally an involuntary thing. We just do it, and it's tough. But it also affects one's ability to be alert and to relax when they need to. And one thing I didn't actually realize, but it explains a lot, is impulse control is actually very much a factor whenever it comes to ADHD. Like I said, that's something I didn't know, but it explains, I've had problems with impulses in the past, but it was never like huge or anything. But yeah, that's something I didn't know. And it's also a huge factor when it comes to memory problems, because obviously whenever you're talking to someone and then you're thinking about what sports are going on, and then you're also wondering why that butterfly is in your room. And then you're texting people at the same time. You have no idea what that person's saying to you or anything like that. I give mad props to my wife because I have the shortest, smallest attention span, and she deals with it, and she's so patient with me. But
That's good.
yeah, yeah, I couldn't imagine having to deal with me on a daily basis, but she does it anyway.
No.
And one thing a lot of people don't know, that it's hereditary or genetic. 1 in 4 people actually get it from their parents. So
Really?
yeah, that's one thing. I thought it was more situational, which it can be. It can be caused from anything from just differences in the brain, such as lower levels of dopamine, which dopamine's like a big chemical that causes a bunch of different problems if you don't have enough or have too much. But yeah, it affects that, which regulates your mood, your movement, and your attention. So that's why people have so many problems with that. Um, and it can also be caused, this is more situational, whenever a mother smokes or drinks while she's pregnant. It can cause problems with that. And also brain injury can cause it, knock stuff around. Obviously, brain injury can cause a lot of problems, and ADHD isn't one of those things that...
Yeah, brain injury is not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Yeah, I actually had a concussion a couple years back, and I thought my ADHD was bad before.
So it got worse.
Oh yeah, it was, I didn't know where it was, a day after that, because I would be doing something, the next thing I know,
And it's just jumping.
Yeah, you know the feeling when you walk into a room and you forget what you're doing? That's life. That is my life. So, and
that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, so you walk into life and you're like, what am I doing here? But yeah.
How I feel every morning.
Yeah, and there's actually a big myth. People say that if you give your kid too much sugar or certain additives in foods like red dye and stuff like that can cause it. No. And no scientific study has ever shown that additives or sugars or anything like that can cause ADHD. It's completely in you and stuff. You can't get it from eating things. You should still be careful what you eat, man. You gotta think of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta eat that healthy stuff.
Yeah, man.
This salad.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's okay to feed your ADHD children sugar all the time.
It's probably not smart.
Because if you have someone that's a little jittery, a little...
Sugar tends to...
yeah. There are reasons
you know,
certain people can't have coffee. And this is, you don't do that.
I get really jittery with coffee.
Oh, yeah, I can't drink energy drinks because I am,
Oh, that too.
all over the place. I drank a Monster once, and I thought my heart was going to explode because of the sugar and the...
Sounds like the beginning of a movie or something. I drank a Monster once.
Yeah, it's like those movies where people take a pill or whatever and they're enhanced and everything, and
What was that one movie? Was it
there's
Limitless?
Limitless, yeah, it's Limitless.
There's a TV show of that now.
Yeah. Basically, the best character I would describe it as is Hammy from Over the Hedge. I don't know if anybody's seen that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But and whenever they give him the soda, he drinks
time
it.
Slows, and he's just jogging along.
He's just walking along.
He's yeah, man, this is normal.
Yeah. So leading to that, there are actually 3 different kinds of ADHD. There's the hyperactive impulsive, which is Hammy, he's all over the place and everything. I've experienced a little bit of that. They can't really, whenever you have that, you can't sit still or focus on a single task, and that you have more trouble with impulse control in that situation. And there's the second kind is inattentive, which is more just can't pay attention to things. You can't focus on whatever you're doing at the moment. A lot of organization and procrastination issues. I remember one time in elementary school, I always was the messiest kid. My backpack was an abyss. You couldn't find anything in there.
Mine was pretty bad too.
Yeah, and my desk was always very cluttered. One time it was so bad, one of my teachers actually dumped my desk out all over the floor and made me clean it up.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, and it kind of hurt my feelings, but
it's okay. It made you stronger.
You know what? It definitely helped me get organized for the next 2 minutes. So and then the last kind is just a mix of both, which is what I have. It's basically whenever you're hyper and can't focus on anything, it's kind of the worst of both worlds. It's like Hannah Montana would roll over in her grave after Miley Cyrus murder, because it's not the best. It's the worst of both worlds.
That was a nice little thing you did there. I like that.
Yeah. But the one, I guess you could call it bright side, is almost everyone with ADHD or ADD has one thing or maybe a couple things that they're very good at focusing on. As you can tell, right now, I'm pretty well focused, and I think it's because I was excited about doing this.
I was too.
Oh yeah. But it's kind of like whenever there's someone with mental disabilities and they're a savant in certain things. Some people are really good at art or really good at math, but they have a lot of trouble in different areas. But for me, it's music. I play a bunch of instruments, and I'm very good at focusing on that in the moment. What I say for sports, I used to play baseball, and I could tell you every single situation, exactly what to do in every situation in baseball. while I was there, but I can barely tell you what's going on half the time in regular everyday life. But yeah, that can happen with that, and a big thing with kids is also Legos. Like they're really good at building with Legos, and they become engineers and stuff, even though they have problems with other stuff. They're really good at building and putting stuff together, and that can definitely be helpful for them. Yeah. So there is a bright side for you out there that have ADHD.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I threw you off.
That's fine. No. But I do have some advice for those of you that have ADHD or ADD. Write things down. As you can see, I do that because if I didn't, I wouldn't know what the heck's going on at any point.
We also have more stuff written down behind the camera.
Oh yeah, it's like there's like a whole thing that
If I had like a mirror or could move the camera, but I can't do either of those things at the moment.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, write things down. Make sure that everything's on paper because your mind's jumping around a lot, and if you're like, oh, I remember this, then you jump on to another task. That'll be the task that you're focused on, and everything that just happened, basically. Also, take advantage of your random energy if you have the ADHD. Like I find sometimes that I'm just like really hyper, and I don't know what to do with myself. So like I'll clean, or I'll start just writing, or find something like that to do. Because there are a lot of people out there, like people who have depression and other stuff like that, and they just don't know what to do with themselves at any point, and they're just kind of laying around all day because they don't have any motivation to do anything. Meanwhile, we're here, may not be focused, but we just bouncing off the walls, trying to find something to do, just whatever's productive around you. Just kind of throw that, like try to do that. Even if you're just like doing a bunch of different things at once, kind of jumping from here to there. Any productivity is good. That's why it's pro, not con. So. What else do I have here? Also, ask for help staying organized, because I know, like, I have an app on my phone that I would write down different like daily tasks and everything, and obviously, writing things down is a daily task, and whenever you can't remember to do normal things, you can't remember to write down to remember to do normal things. So I have my wife kind of help me plan out my day and figure out what we need to do. Yeah, so just ask someone else, like a teacher or a parent or a spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or brother, sister, whatever. Just ask someone around you to help you focus on planning things out and helping you write it down. And yeah, and for anyone around that's affected by someone with ADHD, a huge thing to remember is patience.
It's a virtue.
Patience is a virtue.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and whenever you're around someone with ADHD all the time, nothing gets done at one time. Like, there's no such thing as sitting down and completing a task at that time. Like, if Wade and I worked separately this week, but if any time we worked together, I could see you would probably just be like, but
we'll see. Maybe it'll get to that point.
Yeah, it's funny because preparing for this, Wade was like running around the room preparing everything.
I was like, I gotta get this done, man. I gotta get this done. We don't have the TV hooked up. We don't have the notes ready.
And I was just like, ooh, someone commented on my status. But yeah, so
oh man.
Yeah, so it's very, very tough. We're very distracted, very forgetful. You constantly have to say the same thing over and over because we're not in the moment. And just be encouraging whenever they get excited about things. I know. I keep mentioning my wife, but honestly, I don't deserve how good she is to me sometimes. She's been very, very encouraging with this whole project here because it took up a decent amount of my free time whenever I wasn't working.
Sorry.
Well, it's fine. I love it, and she's been really patient with me. And
is she watching?
I hope so. If you're out there, I love you, and tell the baby to stop crying because he's probably crying. But yeah, she's just been really encouraging and understanding. It's like whenever you have ADHD or ADD, a lot of times like you'll find one task and that'll be like your life, and it'll happen for like a week and then it's done. But I don't think it'll happen with this because it's been different.
We're gonna keep it interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, like I started building houses out of popsicle sticks. And I got halfway finished with the house and I stopped. But the whole time she was encouraging, like, yeah, we'll go get you the supplies. I'll make sure you have time to do it every day and everything. But yeah, so definitely be encouraging with them, even though it's probably not going to last or it might not last. Just be willing to support them with that. The last thing I want to say about ADHD and what to do if you're around them is never, ever, ever distract them whenever they're really focused on something.
I've done that like 5 times.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, if they're like hardcore into doing something, which is a rare commodity, just let them go. Because like, if at any point I would be doing my homework in high school, which is like that was a huge problem for me. I don't get off track, but that's kind of what I do. I had really bad grades, but it was because I never could sit down and do my homework. I never paid attention in class. I wasn't dumb or anything, which I found out later. I wish someone would have told me before. I went through my whole life on my own. Maybe I'm just stupid. But yeah. I lost track.
You lost track?
Anyway, don't distract them when they're focused on something, because they'll distract themselves like I just did there. Yeah. So that's all I have for ADHD. Any comments, Wade?
Any comments? I didn't know that much about ADHD.
I didn't either. This week was very interesting, and now I have fuel anytime someone's like, you have ADHD?
Got the knowledge.
Yeah, let me tell you about it.
Now you can just send them to this video and be like, you know what, you want to learn more about ADHD? Here's everything you need to know.
Yeah, you just gotta watch some stuff about the news that week, it'll be fine, and then learn about virtual reality, which would be fun too.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It'll be good for those people with ADHD, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You got
definitely.
everything going on everywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
I didn't really know the difference between ADHD and ADD before, though, so that was...
Yeah, and I didn't really know either, but the main thing is there's not a huge difference. It's basically ADHD, you just have more energy. That's
okay.
Pretty much the sum of that.
Sweet. All right. Well, we haven't had anybody tweet us out.
Yeah.
So sad. No questions, no nothing, not even a hello. Man, disappointing. We have 3 viewers right now. Hello, 3 of you. We've had a 4th pop in and out a couple times.
Oh, there's that. I don't know anything. This guy's smart.
I was keeping an eye on it while he was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody tweet us out. Tweet us now. You know, give us a nice little hey, what's up? You know, our numbers, not our numbers. Our Twitter or tag thingers are there. There's hashtag. You know, just do it. You know.
Yeah. I'm surprised. This actually ran a lot longer than I figured it would. But
oh yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I enjoyed myself.
It's fine.
I'm sorry that I talked so long and so passionately about this. It's just like I said, we get really into things, and this week for me it was researching ADHD. Also, I just want a side note. This is stickers.
It was sticker paper.
It's sticker paper.
Printed out notes on sticker paper. Who does that? We did.
It was in the printer.
Thankfully, it was the last piece in there, and the rest printed out on regular paper.
Yeah.
And I was using my iPad a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, he wasn't like saying "screw you guys." I'm just playing Angry Birds.
Oh yeah, man. I forget this live show, man.
He was halfway through. He was like, you know what? This is boring.
All right. And our last topic is kind of our ending topic, which is going to lead. We got kind of a question.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of our intro into next week too. So what it is I graduated high school 2 years ago, and you just graduated.
Yeah, I graduated this year. He's in college.
I've been in college for a year and a half about now.
Yeah, and I have a full-time job. So we are both on different paths. But what we want to know is, do you think that education after high school is worth it? Like going to college or a trade school or something like that. Is any of that worth your time and money? And if so, what do you think is best? This is like we'll cover all this next week. This will be one of our main topics.
It'll be one of the bigger topics about whether you think it's worth it at all. If you think it's better to pursue a job directly out of high school and work on a career that way.
And it's really tough because this is a subject I studied a lot last year.
It's a subject I'm still kind of working on because I haven't quite decided if I want to keep going through with college or if I just want to focus on a job outside.
Yeah.
And so, leave a comment in the comment section in YouTube, and we'll be talking about that a lot more as our intro topic next Sunday at 2.
Yeah. So make sure you're here for that. We will be a lot more prepared because this week we were like,
yeah, we're gonna get here a little earlier and set everything up. We have to stream at a place that's not my house.
Yeah.
Because our internet sucks there.
Yeah. The
So thankfully we have a nice location that we can go to and set up everything. And
yeah, it's Area 51 if any of you.
Yeah, you're not getting the information out of us.
Yeah.
Unless you know where we are, which you could, if you know what couches we're sitting on. But
True.
So we got kicking off the next episode with that, and aside from that, this was a good episode. Official episode number 1.
I enjoyed it. I think.
It was fun.
Oh yeah, I rambled a little bit about
that's
stuff,
fine.
but yeah,
that's fine.
I think next week there will be a lot more back and forth, like because of our topic is a very interesting topic, and both of us are from different areas of it. Like he has the experience with going to school, and I have the experience of not going to school.
Kind of have a little experience with both, because I did take a year off out of high school. But we'll get into that more
That'll be next week. Calm your butts.
Okay. Talk to us in the comments. Do other stuff. Give this video. That's not a word. That's not a word.
It ain't even a bit. This is like 45 minutes long.
Gosh, dang it.
Yeah.
Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Let us know that you liked it. Leave any. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of myself. Leave a big thumbs down if you hated this. Was this terrible? No. It was fun.
It can't be that bad.
It was fun.
Sorry.
So, and then in the comments, leave comments. Tell us what we did. If you liked what we did, if you think we should change anything, let us know, because it's kind of for you and it's kind of for us. So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And to any of you that are not watching it live, you will notice, obviously, that we're going to post it on the channel later. If you came in in the middle, we'll post the full video on Wade's channel.
Yeah, it should be up on the channel. Hopefully, I don't know how soon the live streams go over, but
yeah. So you'll be able to see the whole thing if you want, or you can watch parts or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so check out that. You can check out our intro one describing kind of what this show is a little more, if you want to. If not, then whatever, man. Whatever.
Be ready for next week. It's going to be good.
Yep. Thank you all for watching, and we'll send you out with the intro we brought you in with.
Peace!
Au revoir, or whatever. I don't even know if that's